In 1975, French space rockers Carpe Diem emerged with the album
En regardant passer le temps.
Their first of two long players, and from that album, the epic Publiphobie. Well, we got quite a gallop going here with some rising, swelling, thick sounds. Basically just D minor. What you are hearing there is the talent of Claude-Marius David, who plays a soprano saxophone and flute, and also some percussion on the album, and the drum rolls of Alain Faraut, who composed this track. Yeah, and Publiphobie means fear of publishing, I guess. That really fast bass line that's just basically playing the tonic really fast, like we were just in the key of B, bass by Alain Berge. Let's see, what are the backgrounds of these guys? That guy, the bassist here, was on the Visitors record in 1974. Yeah, the Visitors was one of the projects of Jean-Pierre Massiera, who is an engineer on this album. And yeah. Now we've got this like different tempo all of a sudden. We've got this more kind of like a pressure drop, kind of open cadence. Dun, 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 dun. And the moment I describe it, it's gone. Yeah, brisk, galloping, closed cadence, rhythmic component with like these open cadence like strums going on. Yeah, the guitarist, I think, just like playing like one kind of open cadence, like chordal per bar at the start, and just sustained chord per bar. Low in the mix too. The bass has kind of a echoey reverb quality to it. Oh mo mo mo, oh mo mo mo. I love the way the woodwinds are interacting with that keyboard sound that's kind of like enveloping or something, like, or kind of phasing. hear that? Finally, I'm hearing some kind of refined lyrical guitar tones, sort of like kind of undercutting the woodwinds there.
À la page au fusil joué, tu t'es passé, oui. En rêvant à ton Noël, tu me souris.
I forgot that this track had singing on it. There was like an odd meter or two thrown in there somewhere. No. I've heard that there, in a few parts of this track where it's like it'll be in 4/4, but one of the instruments will be emphasizing twos. I love that keyboard sound, that kind of crystal breeze type. Oh, what? I'm not sure. Probably not going to get any information on the make or model of keyboards, vocals. Christian Truchi, whose playing is pretty much limited to Carpe Diem, who put out 2 albums circa 1975-76, or depending on what media you're going by. It seems like those 2 dates were shifted a year. But so I guess I'm for now just gonna hang on to the dates I've always believed in. It played on a 1978 album by Jean-Louis Caillotte that I'm not familiar with, but something to bookmark anyway. And Carpe Diem did a reunion album just a few years ago. Like, got back together 40 years later for a reunion. Basically taking one theme and shuffling around into different key centers, slightly different arrangements, intensity levels. But if you notice that the background, it's basically the same melody being just thrown around. Yeah, that that. Yeah, it's a shame that the guitarist is somewhat buried in the mix. Like this is a really rip-roaring like way the guitarist is like really working his way out of the waves. There's no overall kind of like crashing wave type quality to a lot of this, and he's like working his way out of it. Just the moment I describe something, it changes. He was working up a good like fuzzy tone there for a minute. It seems quite often this band's everything is kind of enveloped into sort of this kind of smooth, velvety type sound. Whether it's the woodwinds, the keyboards, which kind of coalesce sonically at times amid the just really pile driving undercurrents of percussion and sort of kind of sustained bass notes, and everything else just kind of like the guitar has a hard time emerging in this track, and I love the overall feel. I guess now as I listen closer and take things apart, I do wish there was a bit more tonal clarity at times, or good kind of oozing sort of fuzz from whatever. I guess we're hearing a bit of riffing going on here. Yeah, there's a lot of that 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 within the 4/4. Recapitulation of the theme that we heard earlier. That was Carpe Diem with Publiphobie from their 1975 debut album.
En regardant passer le temps.
Yeah, and they would release one other album after this before parting ways, seemingly forever, only to record a third album in 2015 on Musea, the label that reissued their two classic 70s albums during the 90s. And I guess uh, we have pretty good sound quality on this. It was actually cleaned up, I guess, during the 90s. So I'm imagining the original vinyl may have had some muddiness to it. I'm not sure. Um, and I guess the reissue. By the time of the reissue, one of the members, the woodwind player, had passed away. He passed away in 1993. Oh, that's news to me. Uh, Anyway, yeah, a really effective moving track with lots of tonal color and intense and rhythmic intensity. Um, and which basically started out, as the track kind of congealed, it had that kind of grand theme that bookended the track that returned at the end, and midway through we had a bunch of juxtaposing of thematic elements, thrown against different key centers, slightly different intensities, accents on different instruments, cadences and such. Some pretty brisk playing, particularly in among the drummer, laying out lots of fills, the keyboardist dominating through much of this, and the woodwind player accenting different motifs and such. Um, my only complaint really being that the guitarist wasn't really brought up more in the mix at times to really shine when during certain moments that probably should have been his turn. Um, I overall I would say just about. I mean, if there was one thing I could change, that one solo that I was trying to point out of his, God, if it could have had maybe more of of kind of like a searing, fuzzy, up in the mix quality to it, that would have really darted above the rest of the instruments for just maybe, I don't know, 20 seconds or so. Just imagine what that could have added. Like an oozing, fuzzy, really crystal clear, just like, yeah. I didn't know that. I had completely forgotten about the lyrical section. I imagine it just pertained to the title, Fear of Publishing. But since it only lasted for 20 seconds, I don't think I'm really violating my nighttime rule of sticking to instrumentals in the evening slot. Yeah. The vocals kind of take or leave. Done by the keyboardist, and written by the lyrics were written by the bassist. Yeah. Carpe Diem, the track of Publiphobie, the fourth and final track on the album. Yeah, clocking in at 9 minutes 54 seconds, and very as as representative as any track on the album of their spacey, um, their spacey kind of slightly camel-esque type sound in places. Yeah. For more rubies and sapphires from the two 70s era Carpe Diem albums, see the directory of albums by French artists linked in the description below. For red hot tracks and tasty purples from these two Carpe Diem albums, as well as similar French bands from the time period like Shylock, Pulsar, Atoll. Yeah, and the list just goes on and on and on. Like and subscribe and follow me on social media, and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about the track we just heard, the layers, the instrumentation, the soloing, the nuances, the harmonics, the interplay, or even the lyrics if you understood them and caught them, and you the message kind of resonated with you in some way or the other. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear-traveled trimaximalist, signing off.